Hi friends, it's your art teacher, Miss Barnett, and today we are creating happy paper penguins. So to get started, we are going to work on our background paper. So you're going to get a piece of paper, 11 by 17, and a water cup and a brush and some tempera cakes. And I want you just to paint this however you would like. We want a very colorful, bright background for our penguins to stand behind. So, I'm going to get started and you can watch. Remember, you can do this however you want. You do not have to do it the way I'm doing it. And here we go. All right, friends, remember to, when we're using the tempera cakes, we're going to wet our brush and we're going to swish, swish, and wipe the paint and apply the paint. All right, now that we reviewed the process of how to paint with tempera cakes, let's get started. All right, friends, now that I'm done with my painting, I'm going to go put this on the dry rack. And then I'm going to give you a small piece of white paper. This is 4 inches by 6 inches. And we're going to use a light blue chalk pastel and draw a long oval for the top of our iceberg where our penguin will sit. Doesn't have to be perfect. Then we are going to draw a vertical line down on each side and then connect those lines, just like that. And the more bumpy the lines are, the more they'll look like a real iceberg. Now we're going to use one of our fingers and we're going to smooth this chalk out just a little bit and blend. It's looking so cold and icy already. Beautiful. All right, friends, my background paper is dried and I'm going to take some scissors, thumb in the small hole, 2 or 3 fingers in the big hole, and I'm going to cut out my iceberg. We're going to go right to the line. Beautiful. Now on the back of my iceberg, I'm going to take my glue stick, remember a little bit, and I'm going to go around the edges all the way and do a big X. And then towards the bottom of my paper, I'm going to place this, put the top back on, and hold it down and count to 10. Help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that is stuck. Then we're going to use a little bit of white paint here and our fingers, and we're going to add some snowflakes. Remember, it snows in the South Pole where these penguins live. Is it going to snow a lot or a little bit in your picture? You're the artist. You get to decide. If you notice, I'm just using the tip of my finger. It's going to give us a perfect snowflake size. And I think that is done. We can put this back on the dry rack, and now we're going to start working on our friends. I've got a piece of black paper, and then we're going to use this tracer to make our penguin's body shape. So I'm going to use a white crayon, put it down at the bottom of our paper, hold it still with my hand, and go all the way around. Perfect. Now we're going to cut this out. Now using a white piece of paper and a smaller shape, we're going to make the belly of the penguin. Again, line the tracer down at the bottom, put your hand down and keep it nice and still, and then go around the edges, oops, and trace. Just like that. And we're going to cut that out. Now we're going to make the wings. So I have enough paper here left over to trace this oval. Good job. And we're going to cut that out. I'm going to cut it down the middle. And these are going to be the wings of the penguin. They're going to go right there. How cute is that? Good job. All right, friends, we're going to make the feet now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this paper in half. And we are going to trace our foot template onto the paper. Okay, and now I'm going to cut it, but I'm going to keep the fold together so we end up with 2 feet. Perfect. 2 perfect penguin feet. We also should add some eyes and a beak. Remember, our eyes were circles, so I'm going to give you a piece of scrap white paper. We're going to draw 2 pretty large circles, and we can use a little bit of what's left here to make the triangle for our beak, and we're going to cut those out. Here we go. We've cut out the eyes. We're going to use our black marker and add some pupils for our penguin. So we're just going to add 2 dots, just like that. Now that we've finished cutting out all the pieces for our penguin, we're going to collage and glue our penguin parts together so we don't have to worry about that. And we'll do that right now. So remember, we're going to use a glue stick and we're going to go around the edges and hold until we count to 10. Here we go. Now that we've put together our penguin, we're going to get out our background paper and we're going to put our penguin on top of our iceberg. Using our glue stick, we're going to go around all the edges of the shape. Usando pegamento estos todos bordes. Do an X. And then I'm going to hold it down and count to 10. Help me count, friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There we go. Our penguin is attached. Now I'm going to go get some extra little bits and we're going to make him a scarf because it's cold in the South Pole. So here we go. I've got a little bit of tissue paper here. I'm going to kind of decide how big does it need to be. I'm going to use my fingers and rip the paper to make a beautiful scarf for my penguin. So I'm going to have one piece going this way. I'm going to add a little bit more going that way to make the beautiful scarf. Now I'm going to use my glue and glue this down and we'll be done. Here we go.